Okay, wowza. My hair is looking super, super good. Off topic, but look at my roots. Absolute grayness. Insane. Anyways, I wanted to do a get ready with me today because it has been a minute. Shit. Should have gotten me something to drink before I came in here, but that's okay. He'll be out of the shower in a minute and we can get us something to drink. I'm going to go in with some of the Nimya License to Glow Serum. I'm also broken out because I'm on my period. Yeah, I never break out unless I am on my period. Fun fact. I don't know if anybody else has the same struggle, but I most certainly do. We're going to have to get these bangs out of the way. Anyways, I have been working my tail off at my new job. I hate it. Fun fact, I hate it. But the new rehab will be opening up within the next month. So I'm super excited about that because I need to get back into what I'm passionate about, because it really does take a certain type of person to do the line of work that I'm doing right now. This was always meant to be temporary. This is a glow recipe, niacinamide watermelon dewdrops. It was always meant to be, this job that I'm doing like right now, it was always meant to be temporary no matter what it was that I did. But my mom used to work for this company, and so I just knew that it was like, oh, I'm out of breath, a place that was like really easy to like get hired on. Like they hire literally anyone, which is really fucking sad. And that's something that we're going to get into in today's live, is just how easy it is to get hired somewhere where you literally take care of the mentally ill / elderly. It should not be that easy to get hired on. There should be like more steps involved. There was not. Is there a background check? Yes. Is there a drug test? Yes. However, with the drug test, they didn't even like come in the room with me. So like the problem with that is like, if someone knew that they weren't going to come in the room and they brought like U-Pass or somebody else's piss, like they could very easily have poured it in the cup, because like I said, they don't come in the room with you, which I find is a problem, especially when, if you're working with, you know, drug addicts, alcoholics, the elderly, mentally ill, babies, children, they need to come in the room with you. Like, I feel like that should just go without saying. I don't feel like that's asking for too much. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine, and I'm a recovering addict. You guys know this. I just had 7 years sober on March the 12th. So I know that people who use and abuse drugs need jobs just like everybody else. I do feel that our country needs to step it up on what we do for our alcoholics and drug addicts, 100%. However, if you are abusing drugs and alcohol, you do not need to be working with the elderly, mentally handicapped, children, other drug addicts, and other alcoholics. You just don't. You know, maybe get a job where you work from home. Like, it's just, you know, look out for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that that's something that everybody could work on in this generation, is just literally looking out for others. I feel like we're part of a generation that could give a fuck about the next person, and that's really sad. Like, really, really, really sad. Anyways, I'm going to do my brows, and I'm going to use the ABH brow gel. It is the best. I was also going to color correct today just because I am broken out so extremely badly, but I don't know if I really even have the drive or the care to. If I'm being honest with you guys. I do want to try to film a video later today, just like setting the record straight and doing a full story time on what happened with my last job. Just because one of the girls that I used to work with, which listen, to this day, I still have no idea what I did to this girl. No clue. I have no idea what I did to her. Would I say that we were friends? Absolutely not. Things were very awkward from the beginning. But from the start, like even my sister said, like, JP's gonna, like, this is gonna be like a situation. Like, you all are basically, like, gonna hit it off. And she was right. We did. Like, off the bat. I told you guys, like, my first night training on the floor, I trained with him. And from the start, it was chemistry. A text message. Anyways, from the start, it was like chemistry, and like you could just tell that we were both attracted to each other, that it was like a mutual thing, you know. It wasn't like a one-sided attractiveness, you know how sometimes there'll be like one person that's into it and one person that's not, and it's very awkward for everyone involved. It wasn't like that. And it was almost like from the start, like when I first started the job, there wasn't any issue with she and I. But like once people started to see that me and my boyfriend now, JP, were like hitting it off, once people started to see that, it was like things changed. Not with everybody, but with two of the girls. And just for this video's purposes, we'll call one Kaylee, and we'll call the other one Lisa. Well, it needs to be close to her name so I can remember it throughout this story time. Cherry. Cherry and Casey. Is that what I called her? Cherry and Casey. From the start, when me and JP like started to flirt with each other, I wouldn't say that it was like intense or anything, but like you could definitely tell that I was attracted to him and it was reciprocated. Like it was a two-way street. When I first started working there, before him and I like even met each other and I was still in training, it was totally different. Everybody was cool with me. I was cool with them. It was fine, right? But then my first night on the floor, I've told you guys, he trained me, right? And I'll just say, like, for legal purposes, this is for entertainment because I already know how these bitches work. Go on. Yes. So, anyways, the very first night, like I said, he trained me. We were on the floor. The very first night, I could tell that Casey, I think is what we just named her, had an issue with it. And other people who worked there had already told me that she had like a big thing for JP and like had the hots for him basically. So I kind of figured already off the bat when she started to be like rude and hateful to me, I was like, oh, well, she just must be like salty or whatever. But what was weird to me is her fiance was in my training class for this job. So like he started the same time I did. So I just found it kind of weird that she was like having an issue with me and JP hitting it off, especially considering that now her husband is working with her. But like she did, like it was very clear that she did. So fast forward to when Cherry starts to act different. So it was probably about a month in to me working there. It was very obvious that he and I had become good friends and we found each other attractive, at least. He has a very flirty personality, so he would say very flirty things to me, and it would piss Cherry and Casey both off. They would both get super upset, like, and Cherry has a boyfriend, but he's in jail, I believe. I don't know. I don't know the full story on that. But anyways, she decided to talk shit about me to one of the girls that I had become friends with there. And of course, she came straight to me and she said, hey, like, Cherry is doing nothing but talking shit about you, not only to us, but also to like patients. And I told JP about it. I was like, what the fuck? You know, what should I do? And he was like, oh, just ignore it, whatever. She's probably just, you know, she used to flirt with me too. So she's probably just, you know, upset. Like, it very much brought on like high school vibes, like how there's the guy that everybody wants to date type vibes. It was very much that. So I ended up texting her that night and I was like, hey, like, what is your deal? Like, why are you just going to stand there and watch me? That is the most uncomfortable. I can feel it. Either come in or go out.
Listen, I was there for like a whole 30 seconds.
I can feel when somebody's staring at me while I'm talking. Anyways, to continue on for the story time you guys voted for, we were rudely interrupted yet again. I ended up texting, what did I call her? Cherry. Yeah, that way I don't forget who I'm talking about here. I ended up texting her, which I still have the text to this day, and I was like, hey, like, what's your problem? Like, not only, I don't care if you talk about me to, like, our coworkers, but, like, I'm having full-on patients, like, come up to me saying that you're, you know, upset that me and JP are friends, because at this point, it was nothing more than that. I mean, it wasn't no more than that. We text and we talked. That was it. We didn't even like meet after work or anything at that point. So I was like pissed off. And she ends up texting me back and saying, no, I just had a really shitty day and I took it out on you and I'm sorry. Fine. Great. Love it. Moving on. So then there was this one day. This is another weird situation. Most everything happened with what I call her, Casey.
Casey and Cherry.
So this one day, JP had to take off work. And I decided to work a double this day. They had asked me to work a double, and I said, okay, whatever, fine. So I'm working a double, and there used to be this other lady who used to work there. What should I call her? She probably wouldn't even care if I used her real name, but we'll use something else just because. We'll call her Julie. Okay. She worked there still at the time, and she came up to me on day shift, and she was like, hey, just letting you know, there's been a rumor that you and JP had sex in the employee bathroom. Okay, let me rewind a little bit. So about 2 weeks before this, he was not working this day. I worked an extra shift, and he was off. Okay. There's like a breezeway in between both buildings, and we had been texting. We didn't text all day, whatever, just out of respect for his person, whatever. Anyways, so he had texted me, and I guess I was smiling standing in that breezeway. There used to be a cook there, which I'm just going to say his name because who gives a fuck. His name was Sam. And he was like, he is the one who made the comment, oh, you must be going to meet at a hotel tonight. And I was like, what are you talking about? Well, about that time, I about said her real name, Casey and her fiance, we'll call him
Tweedledee.
Tweedledee, fine. They come around the corner and Tweedledee says, oh, so you all are meeting after work at hotels. And I was like, no, we haven't met the first time. At this point, we hadn't even met after work at all. So I was like, no, that has never happened, whatever. And this whole time, me and JP are texting. And I'm like, should I say something to him or should I just leave it alone? What should I do? Whatever. Well, they keep on and on and on about it. Like, they just keep on. And there was this lady who worked third shift. We'll call her Kiki. Very close to what they called her. And she was like, so it is true. You guys are hooking up. And I was like, no, we're not. We're just friends. And I did get kind of hateful about it because everybody was standing there together, almost like ganging up on me. And I knew that if JP was there, they wouldn't have done that. And so about this time, we'll call her Lisa. She was the girl who used to work with me and JP. She walks out and she's like, all right, that's enough. Like, we just need to stop. Like, the patient's going to end up here and it's going to become this big thing. Keep in mind, at this point, there are no pezzes in with patients at all. They're all in this breezeway, like, going on and on with me, thinking that I'm about to go meet him at a hotel. And he was off this day, so they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll be looking for his car. We know he just got a new car. We'll be looking for his car as we drive down." Blah blah blah. Well, that night, Tweedledee and Casey followed me almost the whole way to my old house. And the way I would go is I would go all the way down Chapman Highway and I would go James White Parkway and then get on the interstate and get off at Broadway. They followed me the entire way until I went to the split to go where Broadway is. They got off at Merchants and like went towards their direction, which is like way past Lenore City and everything else. So they followed me that much out of the way. I never even mentioned anything to him about it because I was like, whatever, it's weird. Okay, fast forward. He comes back to work the next week. And Tweedledee and Casey were working a shift with us. And he was looking for a key to our manager's office, or it broke or something. It broke. Okay, it broke. And so he called the, like, guy who was over repairs or whatever and was like, I need a key, whatever. So he was in the maintenance manager's office, like getting another key or whatever. And I was in there, we were just talking. We were maybe in that office for maybe all of 30 seconds. Maybe. Me in the office with him. Maybe all of 30 seconds. I wouldn't even had enough damn time to get my pants off. At this point, it was full-blown winter, and I wore 2 layers of leggings. There would have been no way. There would have been no way. Anyways, I come out of, and in the room where the office is, where the maintenance manager's office is, right beside that is like the director of nursing's office. There's the break room and there's the employee bathroom. Okay. Just give you an idea. And there's also cameras in that room. Anyways. So I walk back out and Tweedledee is standing in the breezeway. And it was almost like anytime he worked and I worked, he would follow me around like stink on shit. Which I'm going to mention this just because, you know, whatever. I already covered myself for legal purposes, but it's the truth. So whatever. From the very beginning in training, Tweedledee made very weird comments to me. He talked about my ass. He talked about how pretty I was in the face. He talked about how all women should embrace their body and how I was confident and it showed. And you can always tell when a woman's not confident. And that was his main issue with Casey, was that she wasn't confident and that she was a bitch. Flat out, that's what he said. And he told everyone, Lisa, me, everybody, that Casey was a bitch. And he would honestly talk to her like shit. Like, I would never allow someone to talk to me the way he talked to her in front of all of us at work, too. It wasn't like it was a private thing. He would say it, like, right in front of everybody there. So, I walk out of the breezeway. Tweedledee is standing right there in the breezeway. And he's like, oh, did y'all just get it on? And I was like, excuse me? Like, I was so confused. I was in that room, like I said, all of 30 seconds. It's like, no. I was in there like maybe all of 30 seconds, and there is cameras. Like, no, I didn't. So then he comes out of the room, and I don't know if he ever made that same comment to JP or not, like making the joke that we just hooked up in the employee bathroom or whatever.
No, people watch what they said to me, so they know I'd go the fuck off.
So anyways, he had to go back in there for something. I don't remember if it's to lock the door or whatever. And me and Tweedledee walked in behind him. Tweedledee walks out. Maybe 10 seconds later, I walk out. And he was like, did you get a round 2 in? And I'm like, are you joking me? I basically walked out right behind you. Are you absolutely kidding me? So at this point, I'm starting to get like... Ashlyn just texted me. But at this point, I'm starting to get just like, I'm getting upset at this point because it's just like keeping on and on and on. Then I get, probably about 2 weeks later, I get a text from a girl that used to work with us. We'll call her, I don't know, Mary, whatever, it doesn't matter. She's irrelevant to this story, really. And she's like, hey, just letting you know, at the treatment center that I'm at, they are saying that you and JP have sex in the employee bathroom. And automatically, I know who spread that rumor. I don't know if Tweedledee told Casey. I really don't see Tweedledee being the one to contact people from another treatment center because I don't think he would know who to contact. Right, but Casey would. She would know exactly who to contact. So at this point, I've pretty much already told myself, okay, well, Casey is now spreading rumors. So that was the first, like, idea I got that Casey did not like me for whatever reason. And then I find out that the main reason she doesn't like me is because Tweedledee, I guess, was talking about me a lot when we were in training. Whatever, that's not my fault. Don't take it out on me, whatever. Then I find out that it was basically because she had a big thing for JP and was upset. It was like a pick-me type thing. Like I said in the beginning of this, it was very high school. Casey and what did I call the other one? Cherry. They were both upset that basically me and him had hit it off. And they all thought that it was like planned, like we planned on it. And it was all like conspired out. It wasn't like that at all. It happened very out of nowhere, out of left field. He wasn't looking for anybody. I wasn't looking for anybody. Like I said, it was out of left field. It came out of nowhere, whatever. The next thing that happened was issues with patients. So, and this all had to do with Tweedledee, all of it. Like walking in, the first patient, I'm going to be honest, I didn't believe her. We'll call her Fifi. I didn't believe her. She was a loudmouth, drama starter. She didn't do anything but stay in her room. And then eventually her baby daddy ended up coming to the treatment center as well. And when he came, it kind of got worse. She was just all about drama in the middle of everything. Anyways, she comes up to me one day in tears and tells me that Tweedledee walked in on her nude in her bedroom, or she was in the bathroom. She was naked. She just gotten out of the shower, and he stood there, looked her up and down, backed out, and like stood in the actual bedroom a minute, and then left. So, of course, by this point, we have an actual manager to go to. We'll call him Keister because he's an asshole. Anyways, he was literally the biggest waste of goddamn space to ever exist. And he had been in prison before, and so he brought a lot of that prison-like mentality and prison rules into a treatment center. And keep in mind, a lot of people in treatment centers, they're there on court order. So they have chose to come to get treatment and get help instead of going to jail or prison. And I started to hear things like, well, why even come to rehab? I might as well have just went to jail. I could have got more freedom if I was in jail. That's really fucking sad. Just to give you an idea of the changes that Keister started to make at the treatment center. So anyways, I go to Keister and I'm like, hey, Keister. So Fifi came to me today and told me that Tweedledee walked in on her in the bathroom, seen her naked, blah, 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 blah. At this point, obviously everything I'm saying in this story is alleged, but this story in particular is extremely alleged because I don't know if it was true or not. Fast forward about a month and a half or maybe a little bit more, we have this patient come who I get very attached to. She works in recovery as well, and I just thought that it was like super grown of her to like come in the first place. And I remember her very first day, she came up to me and she was like, I'm out of here. I've worked in treatment centers before. This is not how it should be, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you're not going nowhere. Like literally, I'm the one that has to go get your shit. I'm not going to get it. You're here. And me and her just clicked immediately. We'll call her Melissa. So Melissa comes up to me one day and says that Tweedledee followed her. They were doing a walk in the woods, which it was always the rules that two Pezzes had to go on these walks in the woods. Like, you couldn't just take all of the patients by yourself and go on this nature walk. You had to have like a partner with you. But Tweedledee, for some reason, always got the privilege of walking all of these patients by himself, which is very bizarre, number one, because you have to keep count the whole time. It would just be a hot ass mess. I don't know why anyone would want to take 50 patients on a nature walk in the woods on their own, but I digress. Anyways, allegedly, Melissa claims that on this nature walk, Tweedledee tells her that she needs to leave treatment. She needs to go and focus on being a mother. She's too beautiful to be in this treatment center, so on, so forth, and the third. He also allegedly made a lot of comments towards another patient that we will call Kiki. Well, no, we already have a Kiki. We'll just call her Kaylee. Apparently, allegedly making some comments towards Kaylee, and it was a rumor throughout the patients that Tweedledee and Kaylee were sleeping with one another. Very big claim considering Kaylee was a patient and Tweedledee is staff. And that is a big fat no-no. Like, no, 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 no. So anyhow, Kaylee comes to me and says that Tweedledee busted in her room and cussed her out and degraded her and talked to her like shit in front of everyone. I go to Keister yet again, my boss, and inform him of this. Nothing is done at all. It's just like left alone. And keep in mind, throughout this entire thing that I'm explaining, there was still like rumors flying around like crazy. What's that?
Oh, that's just a letter from IRS informing me that all of it goes to child support, which I knew it would.
Oh, man. So anyways, fast forwarding a little bit more. At this point, me and JP are meeting each other after work. We would meet each other before work. We would meet each other after work. But at this point, I didn't really care who knew. And I don't know if he did or not. I don't think he did because it was pretty known at this point that...
But at this point, there was a whole lot of hatery and fuckery going on.
That's what I'm getting into. So we would start meeting before and after work. And it seemed like everybody was concerned with what we were doing. Anytime we both would walk into a room, everything would get quiet. You would get like the stares or what. It was just like, when people are just talking shit. It was that type of vibe. So one night, we had like 8 intakes. And it was me, Casey, Cherry, and Lisa, I think is what I called her. We're all doing intakes, and I thought this is going to be the time to just be like, what the fuck is your all's problem? And when I'm stressed, one thing about me, when I'm stressed, if there's something that I want to say, if I'm pissed off about something, you're going to find out. This is going to be the moment where I'm going to bust, and I'm just going to go the fuck off. And that's exactly what I did. I said, what is everybody's problem? Like, I don't understand what the issue is. I don't get it. And this is when they're like, well, were you all hooking up here on the property? And I look over at Kaylee, or no, Casey is what I called her. I look over at Casey and I'm like, are you serious? You all were here that night. I was in that room for maybe all of 30 seconds and there is a camera. There's video surveillance in there. Are you joking me? And she was like, oh, I didn't say anything. Well, Cherry turns right around and says, yeah, you did. You're the one who told all of us that they hooked up in that office. Which we already knew that anyways. We already knew that she was the one who started that rumor. I'm like, I'm just trying to figure out like what the problem is. We come to work every day. We work our ass off. We do everything we can to help everybody.
And Tweedledee and Casey run to us when we pull in the parking lot.
Right, like we need you.
Put out their fires.
Right, we need you. We need you right now. Please come in. Which, don't get me wrong, there was always like some drama or shit going on. It's a rehab. These are people detoxing.
Yeah, but on our shift, it was 75% less bullshit and drama.
The thing I'm trying to say is, though, is that it was never what they explained it to be. So they would be like, panicking, like, we need you here right now, like, hurry, hurry, hurry. And so we would hurry, hurry, hurry and get there. And it wouldn't be like what we thought it was going to be. Like, we thought it was going to be like this big, huge ordeal, and it was never anything, or even what they explained it to be, which is really dangerous because drug addicts and alcoholics already feel like nobody trusts them and nobody believes a word that comes out of their mouth. So when you start to accuse them of things that they didn't do, it really starts to fuck with their sobriety. And that's my thing. Like, the fact that at the end of it all, they had this bitch's back and kept her there over me, when this girl has had a complaint from probably every single patient who's walked through those doors. I read some reviews. Well, correction, you guys sent me some of the reviews of this place because JP accidentally slipped the name of where we used to work in my boyfriend Q&A video. He slipped the name of the place. So a bunch of you guys sent me some reviews of them. It's really bad. Really, really bad. Our names specifically are mentioned several times about us leaving and the place falling apart. I have 2 screenshots.
Oh, so nothing bad about us.
No, nothing bad about us. It's all about, which if you guys have read the reviews, you know their name is not Tweedledee or Casey. But there's a lot about them. And the biggest question you guys have asked me is like, why did I get fired? So there was this patient that the night that she showed up, which she's given me permission to share this. I'm not going to share her name. We'll just call her Abby. The night that she showed up was intense. Her boyfriend, Brett, had already called our admissions and said, listen, like, she's threw her pants off on the interstate. She's very intoxicated. So just to let you guys know, she'll be showing up with like no underwear, no pants, nothing. So we already knew that it was going to be like a situation. We already knew that this one was going to be a live wire. It was at the end of our shift. So anyways, I go out to the car. I'm the first one to the car. Lisa's right behind. Lisa is behind JP, and JP's walking towards the car. And when I get to the car, Lisa failed to inform us that she was naked, by the way. So we didn't know she was naked. Only Lisa knew, and she didn't tell us that part. So I get up to the car, and I see that Abby only has a shirt on. She has no pants, no underwear, no socks, nothing. Basically, from the waist down, her putty cat and ass is everything's out. So JP starts to walk towards the car, and I'm like, whoa, just stay where you're at. Do not walk any closer. You're not going to be helping with this. And I say, Lisa, I'm going to need your help. And when Lisa gets over there, that's when she's like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that she was naked. I'm like, what the fuck? And
Thanks.
Brent, whatever I called him, Abby's boyfriend, he was like, yeah, her pants are somewhere on I-75. I don't know where they are. She threw them out the window, blah, blah, blah. She was extremely intoxicated, and this very same night, we were doing an intake for another live wire who was super young, another one that I got attached to, who later her mom would say that it was our fault that she relapsed because we kicked her out of rehab. No, she left. She was bound, down, and determined all she needed was a 10-day detox, and she left after her 10-day detox and relapsed. Is what it is. Anyways, me and Abby ended up connecting with a lot of things. We had a lot of things in common when it came to traumas and different things that we had been through. Really pretty girl, really sweet girl. She was really quiet once she like got through her detox and stuff. But like the first 12 days, every day, she was like, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Get me out of here, blah, blah, blah. And the only person who could talk her down and get her to stay was me. So it was like every day I was getting either a call from work, or before I got to work, I was getting calls like, I need you to get here. I need you to talk to Abby. Pull in the parking lot. They're rushing out to my car. You need to come talk to Abby. On and on and on. So anyways, Abby ends up completing treatment. Okay, fast forward, me and JP start dating, all this, that, and the third. And I get a message on Facebook, and it is from Abby. And it's maybe, I don't know, like a month after she left, something like that. She is very intoxicated. I end up talking to her on FaceTime, and she's got like 2 bottles of Tito's. She's got a bunch of White Claws. She's extremely intoxicated, like she's drunk. And so I'm like asking her, like, why don't you come back to treatment? Please come back to treatment, blah, blah, blah. And she's like begging me to come to where she's from, which is like 2 hours away from where I live, and like talk with her. And JP is like, no, she needs to come to treatment. Like, if we come out there, it's just going to be another excuse, another excuse, another excuse. So this entire weekend that we had off, we spent helping her get back into treatment. I was fired for helping this girl get back into treatment. So, yeah, just flat out, I was fired for helping her get back into treatment the second time. So I end up getting to work. Well, so on Monday, we find out, which we were always off on Mondays. We end up finding out that our executive director, we'll call her Vicky, got fired. Okay. So we already knew. Tuesday morning, my sister texted me and she was like, hey, basically all of home office is here. Just giving you a heads up. Okay, cool. So we end up going into work. I clock in. I do what I always did. I went straight over to the smoke deck and helped with smoke break. I already knew that shit was off because Tweedledee and Casey was at work, and they shouldn't have been. They were always off on Tuesdays. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. They were always off on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So them being there on that Tuesday, and they were allegedly there off of the clock to go do a tobacco run for the patients. So I already knew that, like, something's weird. Something ain't right here. It's weird. Anyways, I don't a bit more get over to the smoke patio, and I get a message on my phone from my boss. What do we call him? Keister. And he says, I need to see you in my office. And usually when he would send me those messages, it would be like, hey, after smoke break or whenever you get a second, can you come to the office or some shit like that. It was never, I knew it was weird just by the way that he texted me like that. Like, come to the office. I think he even said now, maybe. I can't remember. I'd have to look. Anyways, I end up texting JP and I'm like, hey, just letting you know, I've been called to the office. And we already knew that it was weird because home office and everything's there. We now have been informed that our HR manager is now filling in as the executive director. So like a whole bunch of weirdness is going off. So I go in the office. They don't even have me shut the door. It is the HR manager and it is Keister, and they're standing up. They have a bunch of papers in their hand. On the desk is a bunch of complaints with the same person's name on them, Casey. And they tell me that I have been fired due to helping that patient get back into treatment. So I walk back around to the car. I I call JP and I'm like, hey, can you bring me the keys? Like, I'm gonna have to leave and come back and get you. And he's like, why? I was like, I've been fired. He was like, why have you been fired? And I said, for helping, I almost said her fucking name, for helping Abby get back into treatment. And he was like, well, I'm quitting. And I asked him not to. I said, please don't. Because that type of work is something that I feel that I'm meant to do, but it's definitely something that JP's meant to do. He's so good at it, especially with the guys. I mean, just so good at it. Anyways, he was like, no, fuck that. And he later told me, he was like, even if I were to have stayed, like, I would have ended up, like, beating someone's ass. Like, I couldn't have just stayed there and worked with them knowing that you were fired for helping someone get back into treatment. So we ended up leaving. He went and turned his badge in. Well, he asked him, he said, did you really just fire Morgan for helping a patient get back into treatment? They said yes. And he said, well, I quit. Here's my badge. We left and he took me to go eat Mexican. After the fact, it has been spread all over God's green country that I relapsed. I failed a drug test.
We both did.
That we both failed a drug test, and that is why we were fired. Number one, I still have my papers from when I was let go. I have them, and it says on the papers while I was fired. I've shared them all online because I don't want anyone to ever think that I've relapsed. Like I said, I just had 7 years in March. It's a huge accomplishment for me. And I'm not going to let some bored bitch, because that's what she is. She's a bored bitch, spread a rumor that I lost something that I've worked so hard for. This message goes directly to her. Casey, if you're watching this, you are not meant to work in recovery. Are you in recovery? Yes, but not every person who is in recovery is meant to work in recovery. You're not meant to work in recovery. You mess with people's recoveries. You make it hard for them to stay in treatment. And you're more concerned with drama, most of which don't even exist, than helping the patients who are actually there and who need your help. They came there for a reason, which was to get help. And you're tarnishing. That place really could have been something special. Honest to God. They had some good values, for sure. But when you hire people who, which the reason why I know for a fact that they kept Casey is because she does run like a dictatorship. And that's very much the vibes that Keister wanted for that place. It was very much like up 2, 3, 4 type shit. Like, ran like a fucking prison. Which when you have like prison mentality, and you get the position of a manager, of course you're going to run it that way. But like, just know, Casey, everyone has told on you. I have heard all of the things that you've said about me from day one. Every single patient that you have talked to has reached out to me and informed me of all these things that you've said. And it doesn't bother me because I know what the truth is. I'm going to cut this really quick before I keep talking and mess it up. It doesn't bother me because I know what the truth is. It makes me sad because, like I've told JP and anybody else, I, to this day, do not know what I did to this girl. I did nothing to this girl. Absolutely nothing to her. And she had a hate for me, like a pure hate. And it makes no sense. I never did the first thing to her. So, yeah, that's basically the reason that I was fired, along with some of the dramas that took place. And if you work at that rehab, I'm not going to re-mention the name, but if you work at that rehab, she's talked shit about you 110%. There's not one person that I can think of that Casey did not at least once talk shit about. It's actually really sad. Really, really sad that basically drama is running a drug and alcohol rehab. And what makes it even more sad is that she's in recovery and she knows just how fragile you are when you first get sober. Like, you don't trust anyone. You think everyone is out to get you. You're just in like a very vulnerable spot. And to take a job where you're helping people that's in that mind frame and all you care about is drama, it's just really sad. It just really hurts my feelings because I remember first starting there and being like, I will work here forever. I mean, hell, even when I got the job offer that I'm now taking, I declined. I told them no because I loved that job so much. I loved the people. I loved the energy there. I loved everything about it. So I told them no. That's so crazy to me that within such a short time period, it went from no to absolutely get me the fuck out of here. And our plan was to stay there until we worked out our notice. That was the original plan. But like all of the things that they, insinuated about our relationship was all false. We never met at a hotel. until we decided to be together, until he had decided to get a divorce. I was no longer in my relationship. We never met at a hotel before then. And just to give a time period, not that it is anybody's business, it was way after what everybody said at work. Way, way after. I mean, they basically were accusing us of going to hotel rooms together, and I hadn't even worked at that place for probably 2 months at that point. I mean, it was absolutely insane. Anyways, I'm just laying down this P. Louise, trying to flatten it all out. I kind of just want to leave that place in the past. So that's why I went ahead and told the story here today, because so many people are asking about what happened. You know, I loved it there so much, so on and so forth. And I did at one point, you know, I did plan on being there forever. But things happen. Shit happens.
I ain't seen no reviews mentioning us.
Huh?
I ain't read no reviews about us. I mean, there's more negative reviews than positive, though.
Where are you looking at the reviews at?
Mine mark reviews.
No. I'll have to look at the link in a minute.
Cody Clark, Corey Better. I'm sorry. Forgot.
Yeah, shit. I can't edit this either. Well, hopefully they don't mind that we
Hey, guys.
their name.
Just want to let y'all know. Oops. Hey, Landmark itself could be a great place. They just need to vet their staff better, and they need to, like when we was there, they were literally saying they wish they had more of us. They had more people, staff members like us, who cared like we did, who could build rapport with the patients. Like, there wasn't very many patients, men and women, that come in there that we could not build a rapport with and help. Yeah, you're always going to have a few, but I'd say 90% of the patients there we were able to get through and build a rapport with. Some people are going to leave when they leave. They're not ready to quit. Those people going to have something negative to say about us. I'm sure somewhere somebody will.
No, I'm sure.
That's just life. But we are nowhere near done on our journey of working in recovery and saving others, helping others,
No.
and being there for others. I will always be willing to give my number to guys, and only guys, and be there if they need to reach out to me. That is one of the things that they had an issue with, but for us, we didn't see a problem with that. And I've talked to other people that's high up in recovery, that works in other places, and they even said, you know, that's not a competition thing, that is a help thing. And even they didn't see nothing wrong with us giving our numbers, as long as they were asking for our numbers, we wasn't asking for theirs. They were reaching out to us, we wasn't reaching out to them. You know, there's that fine line. If a patient asks me for my number, I'm more than able and willing to give it to them. And if they reach out to me, there's nothing wrong there. The line would be if I asked them for their number and I reached out and called them. Now, once they reach out to me, then I don't know, I've not researched it, but I don't see a problem with me. If I don't hear from them for a week or so, I'll shoot them a text or a phone call. Hey, hadn't heard from you. Everything okay? You doing good? You know, because I'll challenge some of them to contact me on a daily basis just to check in and let me know they're doing good. You're going to get attached to people if you get into work in recovery. It's just plain and simple.
By the way,
something popped up.
Oh, hey, what is your day rate for a commercial music video? What? Film production. I might be able to get you some work in my neck of the woods. It just depends, babe. It depends on what what is it that you're wanting me to do, basically, is what I'm asking here. By the way, I'm using the shade
You can put it
Certified.
back on
Okay. Okay. This is the shade Certified from the Jacqueline Volume 2 palette. It's got black eyeshadow on me. Great. Hey, can you make me a drink, please?
Yeah.
Leave that open. Um, it is wedding season 2, by the way, so if you're needing to book wedding makeup, I'll need yeah, if you're needing your makeup done for a wedding or prom, need to be hitting me up because I'm trying to decide what I'm wanting to do here, you guys. I'm like stuck. I don't know exactly what I want to do. I was going for something much different. But here we are. I know that I have this gold glitter liner, but I don't see it. I see silver, I see purple, I see red. I could do the red. Red would be fun. Let's do red. I haven't played in red in a while, and I feel like that would be, yeah, that would be cute. Okay, let's go ahead and deepen up this outer corner. A little bit. I think I'm gonna just go in, since we're gonna do the red. I'm gonna take the shade Thick Skin and G Money. So I'm gonna take this shade right here and this shade right here. Or no. This shade right here, sorry. And I'm gonna start to deepen up this outer edge, just kind of fanning it a little bit. And just really start to blend that edge. Just like so. Okay, and then I'll just take that white and just kind of go back over. That's going to give it like that airbrushed like look, so that there's no harsh lines. What we could do tonight is I could just take my makeup off and have him redo it. We could do that tonight.
Why they trying to get me to do your makeup? Leave me alone.
All right, so I think I'm going to take, what do I do with it? Here it is. I have these little liquid glitter liners. I just got them off Amazon. They're actually really good. We're going to take a deep breath and we're going to line this. Pray for me. I had a blink. This is where things could go south. Oh my God, why am I needing to blink so much? You know, this look might actually be a little easier for him to recreate. Should we have him recreate this one? I was also thinking what we could do is like take makeup off half of the face and have him try to recreate it. Cute. All right, so now this eye's done. We did a little bit of a red glitter liner. I will go in and do one more layer, especially here on the tail end because it got a little patchy, but I'm gonna let it dry first before I go back over it again. But this is what you want when you do a cut crease. You want to go back in. You see how choppy that looks if you leave it like that? Like, girl, don't do it. All right. So I'm gonna go back in with G Money and Thick Skin. I'm gonna mix those two together.
Hello. What's up? Who's that? What's going on, man? That shit. Hanging out.
Let's see, I think I'm actually gonna take a little bit more concealer
Not at this current
and just
moment.
cut
We're
this a little bit
waiting,
more.
for all the inspections and lawsuits we're about to be. Well, we got our hands deep in what we're trying to bigger problem, bigger day, bigger.
There we go. Just to kind of bring it out a little bit more like this side is. Just to get it a little even.
Thursday night, first time I've been on that in a while. Yeah.
And then I'll just take the shade Certified, which is that creamy like bone shade from the Jacqueline 2 palette. And I'm just gonna set that concealer. Just make sure if you do this that you use a really thin layer, okay, of concealer. Don't use too much or else it's gonna look patchy as hell and you're gonna be mad at me. Okay. Yum. All right, so let's go ahead and deepen up this outer edge here. Just go up and down that line there. Go in with just a little bit more, not too much. Just to get this one edge here, just to make sure everything's nice and smooth. And then I'm just gonna take that brush again. I'm not adding any extra product. I'm just leaving on it what's there and just kind of sweeping over. Oop.
And I said, I've contacted them and I want to do their 3-month IOP program. So, we all sit there and talk to Brady, got my interview done on the phone and everything. Of course, they tried to get me to stay and said, they tried that whole, well, your insurance might not pay for your stay here for not completing all that, but, like I told boy,
All right, now that we have that done, we're gonna go ahead and take the glitter liner. I'm actually just gonna go in with a little bit more of mainly Thick Skin down here at the bottom. Also, if you hear Hayden, he's out here riding his 4-wheeler. Let me turn this so you guys can even see what I'm doing here. We're gonna let that dry. And then I'm gonna go over one more layer over on this side, and then we'll be ready to start the skin. Finally, my favorite part.
Tennessee Wellness, where I was at. When he went and told his story, he said, oh shit. What was the gay guy with curly hair that was really cool? Ethan, he said Ethan.
See how much better that looks with the second layer? You can actually just tell that there's glitter liner there. That's what we want. Cute. I love it. I do want just a little bit more whiteness on this side though. I feel like it's just not. Better. I love it. I think it's cute. What do you guys think? Are we into it? Are we not into it? What's the vibes? We're gonna let this side dry a little bit more. We're gonna go ahead and start with the skin. I'm gonna use the Pure Cosmetics 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie in the shade MN5. This one has a pump, but it also has a doe foot applicator, and it is a very, very much orangey undertone. So it's really good at canceling out redness if you have high pigmentation like I do. This is like the perfect one. This one's about out, which really, really hurts my feelings because I have a feeling this one's going to be hard to find. I'll probably have to order it off of Pure's website. Okay, and then I am going to take my Artiste brush and I'm going to take 1 pump of the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage 24-hour foundation in the shade 030 Sand Beige. This one does have, it's like an orangey peach undertone, so there's a little bit of peach in it, and that's going to help complement. You guys ask all the time how I get my skin, like all the redness and stuff out. It's because I mix different undertones to get the perfect shade. So I have my orangey undertone, my peach undertone, and now I'm going to go in with a pink undertone. This is the YSL All Hours foundation, and this one is in the shade BR40 Cool Sand. And I'm just going to take, ooh, that pump went all over me instead of the Artiste brush. Perfection. Just love squirting a $60 foundation just in the floor, hee hee. And then we're just going to kind of blend this all over. And you'll just see that redness just start to just flatten completely out. I'm also going to go over my lips as well. That just is kind of works like a primer for your lipstick, especially if you're going to use a liquid lipstick. I definitely recommend doing it that way, just because, like I said, it works as a primer and it will bring out the most pigment out of your foundation. And this, of course, is with no filter, no fancy lights. I have one little ring light in front of me and a little bitty, one of the like desktop impression vanity mirrors. I'm going to take it down my neck too, just because I have high pigmentation that goes all the way down my neck. I do have a spray tan on. So though it may not look the best right here, it's because my spray tan has already washed off my neck and this whole area. But my chest and everything is still very much spray tanned. Okay, and then just on my, what is this, Real Technique sponge, I'm just going to take the rest of that and I'm going to start to blend everything into the skin. I'm not really too concerned with and underneath my eyes right now because I will go in with concealer and do that. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm mainly just focusing on the rest of the face. just to make sure there's no brush strokes. But when you go in with those Artiste brushes, you really do get like all of the pigment. And I always go in with just a little bit more on my cheek area. My cheeks do just have really intense high pigmentation. So I'm just going to take a little bit more of that Catrice foundation just directly onto the face. Just a little bit more coverage on the cheeks where I need it. And this one, like I said, has that peachy undertone. So it's going to help with any type of discoloration, high pigmentation, anything like that. It's a really beautiful foundation too. And when you let your primers set on your skin the way I did, like putting your primers on first, then brows, then eyes, and then skin, it really lets your primers like do their due diligence and really like get the full stretch. You see how pretty of a glow my skin has, which for whatever reason on camera, everything always looks worse to me. I don't know why it is, but like YouTube Live in particular, I don't know. I feel like they just are trying to like really get you like feeling like you're oogly, but okay, so now that we have the foundation laid down and it's blended in the way that I like, nice and soft, you know, the main thing is just to make sure that it's all blended in. You don't have anything setting on top of your face, because that is when you're going to start feeling cakey, is when you have all of this shit just like piled up on top of your face. That's what we don't want. Okay. I also think I'm feeling a red lip today. You guys know I love me a red lip, and I feel like with the pop of red in the liner, I feel like it'd be really pretty. I'm gonna go on a second layer.
Jeremy just hit me back. About to get put out in the street.
See how much prettier?
I don't figure out how to pay for this room in the next couple hours.
Pretty. I love it. Yeah, I'm thinking a pop of red lip will really be pretty. Okay. Concealer. Very big deal for me. I love concealer. I'm going to, on this palette over here, I'm going to squirt a little bit of the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NC20. It's an oldie but a goodie. She's Old Faithful. I mean, if you're getting married, if you're going to prom, if you're taking photos, you need this concealer. The only thing is, MAC, can you please make a doe foot? And can you also make it to where you can get the fucking top off? Like, screw it off. Like, come on now. Let's get with the times. I know you're MAC, and you're like... MAC is just that one brand that's like, we're not making no changes for you bitches. You all buy my shit anyways. Like, I get it. Like, I get it. We do buy your stuff, but like, can you please make a fucking pump, or not a pump, a doe foot applicator for the fucking Pro Longwear Concealer, please God. Can you also put a pump on the damn, one of my favorite foundations, the Studio Fix? Please God. We shouldn't have to buy a pump separate. That's crazy. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of the Buxom. This is just the plump shot. This shit burns like a motherfucker, but it literally is like lip injections in a container. I love this stuff. What is on my face? Oh, absolutely not. No, 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 no. Who was that?
That was...
Without saying names.
That was a buddy of mine, Maharaja, from English Mountain. Okay. He was my first roommate up there.
All right, and I'm going to take the Born This Way concealer. This is my favorite. I'm about out of it. It's in the shade Almond. And I'm going to mix that with the MAC. And we are going to go to town. You should be in here watching and learning some tips before you have to do my makeup tonight, because you are going to be in for it, brother. So, yeah, I know you do. Well, guys, he cannot say that I didn't try. He will sometimes sit in here with me, but like he never makes it the full time.
Well, man, I don't care. Just sit in here and watch.
He never makes it the full Monty. You don't have a cheat sheet. You don't watch to have a cheat sheet.
A cheap sheet.
A cheat sheet. Okay.
A cheat sheet.
A little bit around the nose. On the chin.
I love you.
Love you. All right. And then I'm just going to take a dot of the CoverGirl. What's this called? CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in the shade L100. I'm just literally going to put a dot in the center. It's just like a super bright concealer. I got it in a shade way too light for me, so I just put like a little dot just for some like brightening, whatever. Okay, and then blend, blend, blend until your fucking arms bleed. See, this is also the other part that I'm really curious to see how he's going to do, because I just can feel now that he is going to swipe with the blender instead of pressing. If he even uses the blender, I don't know. Like, he never makes it to this part right here. So I feel like the skin is where he's probably going to have the hardest time. I am going to let him cheat. I am going to give him the order that I do my makeup. But he has to find the products. He has to dig through all of this and figure out what it is that I like. Or I could lay out options. The only thing about options, which some of you guys are saying, well, give him options. The thing is he's going to know which ones I like versus which ones I don't like, because the ones that I like have been used. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the ones that I really don't care for.
You got a special guest appearance.
Oh, Hayden's come to say hey.
Sunshine.
Come say hi to your fans. Look how big he's gotten, y'all.
Hi.
Are you joking? Also, Weston got his hair cut yesterday. He is no longer the Tarzan man. He went to a barber, like a bougie, like TikTok barber. And y'all, his hair looks so good. He ended up donating his hair to Locks of Love. Locks of Love, I think is what it's called. Anyways, so here's a tip if you have a 2.5 head like me. So see, like my forehead's like a 2 head. And you are wanting to contour it to kind of give it some shape. I'm about to give you guys a little bit of a tip. Here, number one, contour, like gray undertoned contour, you're not going to love, okay? It's actually going to be your enemy and not your friend. So what you want is something that's got an orange undertone. My favorite is the Chanel Les Days bronzer. And if you want to feel bougie, you can actually order this bronzer from the Chanel website for the same exact price. And bitch, it comes in a Chanel box with a Chanel bow and all the shits. It's like, it's a vibe. It's a vibe and a half for sure. So that's how I always order mine. And then I'm going to take this Luxie brush. And I'm just going to start to shape my cheeks first, my cheekbones. And then when it comes to the forehead, I have a 2.5 head, so I'm not trying to literally erase every bit of forehead that I have. I'm going to go right in the temples and just press that product and go backwards down here and then just kind of dust over the top here. just like that. And then I'll go back in with my sponge here in just a minute. You guys will see how I actually blend it. I'm also curious to know like how he's going to do with contour and blush and like all of the things. Like I said, he has watched eyeshadow portions quite a bit, but he never makes it to like the face portion. So I'm really curious to see how he's going to do. I'm actually pretty excited to see if he does good. Everybody has really high hopes for him because I do makeup. They think he's going to just kill it. The thing is, and I've noticed this with like a lot of other like makeup artist friends of mine and just other girls who I've seen let their boyfriend or husband or whatever do their makeup online, is it must just be because we talk makeup all the time online. We must just never talk about it at home because none of them seem to have a clue as to what they're doing. I think the only one who I seen that did like, honestly, compared to all the others, I think that Tati's husband probably did the best. I'm not a fan of Tati, but I mean, in comparison to all the others, I think that he did pretty good. What is his name? James, I think. I think he did pretty good. All right, and then I'm going to take this Sonia Kashuk brush. I got it from Target. It's just like the perfect nose contour brush. And I start at the eyebrow. Some people go into the crease of their eye. I like going to the eyebrow just because I have a really short nose. So this just like helps elongate it. If your nose is really long, you would go into the crease of your eye and it would like shorten it a little bit. And then I'm just going to go right and underneath, and right here where this natural shadow is, I'm going to go right there. So I kind of already have the nose shape that everybody tries to create, the button nose. I already have that. So I have a love-hate relationship with my button nose. I can't stand it. JP loves it. He talks about it all the time. But ooh, it's definitely not my favorite. Okay, so now we're going to go back in with the sponge, and I'm just going to kind of press these edges, especially up here at the forehead. You really want to go back in and then kind of just go back and forth with your brush, with the bronzer and your beauty blender, and just kind of do your temples and then just very lightly up at the hairline. Just press, 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 press all of this down. And then over the nose, I'm just going to use the actual beauty blender itself. I'm not going to go where the concealer was, just because that's just going to lighten it and take it completely away, and we don't want to do that. Okie dokie artichokes. Blush, we're going to use the Kylie Lip and Cheek Glow in the shade Pink Me Up. It's a really pretty like mauvey pink. I love it. I really want to get some of the Rare Beauty blushes. I've been looking at them online and I'm obsessed. But this is my favorite one as of right now. Since we've got some red going on, we're really going to blush it up. I love blush anyways. Blush just really brings the makeup back to life. And I really like applying my liquid blush with a brush instead of the blender, just because I feel like it really presses it and warms it into the skin. And so it doesn't look like so cakey. It more just looks like it's my cheeks, you know? And then just a little bit on the bridge of the nose, top of the lip, and right here on the chinny chin chin. And then just like with everything else, we're going to go back in with the sponge and just make sure everything is nice and blended. Also, underneath my eyes are so quick to crease, so I really want to go back in one more time before I set everything, just to make sure we don't have any creases going on. All right, so now Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Powder in the shade 02 Butter. This is my favorite setting powder. This and Huda Beauty is my favorite. I like Laura Mercier as well. It's good too. But if I had to pick one, I would pick this one. It just sets everything. It's not going to budge anywhere. And it's not like one of those powders that's like super, super light. So it just makes it look like you're wearing makeup. That's my only issue with Laura Mercier is I feel like it's just a little bit too light, the translucent is. So it just kind of, I don't know, it doesn't like seep into the skin like this one and the Huda Beauty one does. Those two just like seep into the skin so you can still see your blush. You can still see everything. I guess what I'm trying to say is Laura Mercier is a little bit too pigmented of a setting powder. Like so pretty, nice and set. Nothing's going to go anywhere. It's going to stay all day, not budge. Through sweat, rain, it doesn't matter. My makeup is here to stay. Like it's not budging. Okay, and then I am going to set right here, and I do want it to be brightened a little bit. So I'm actually going to bake here. And I'm going to bake just a little bit right here. Not nothing too crazy, just like I said, just like a little bit of bakeage going on just while I do my lower lash line. But I love this powder. A little bit goes a long way. Some people talk about the smell. I love the smell of this one. I love the smell of the Huda. I love it. Obsessions. My love, obsessions. Okay, now I need to decide what I want to do with the lower lash line. We could go full red or we could go black and smoke it out, which I'm thinking is what we're going to do because I want to do a red lip. And if I do a red lower lash line, the red lip is just not going to go. So I am going to take this black liner from Ulta Beauty. This is the Marble Studios X Ulta Beauty. I don't know. It's just a black liner, but it's fantastic. It's probably one of the best liners I've ever found. It does not budge. I'm going to tight line just a hair on the outer edge. I never go to the inner corner because that just closes your eyes in too much. But I do go with the outer corner. The outer corner is always a must. And then I'm just going to do the waterline first. Okay, and then I'm just going to take that liner to the actual lash line. And I'm probably only going to take it maybe about halfway. About like that. You just see how much that just opens up your eyes alone just with the black liner. Ugh, I love it. Okay, and then I'm going to take my favorite Tom Ford smudger brush. This is my favorite one. No one is ever the same. I've tried to find others, and you can't even... Look at this right here. Are you joking me? See, I knew I washed off way too much of my damn self-tanner. Yep, because there's my self-tanner line right down there. Jesus. I always exfoliate right there on my neck because I don't like to have self-tanner on my face or my neck. Like, I just want a little bit of the color, and I definitely exfoliated way too much of my neck this time, but that's fine. Okay. So now I'm going to take the shade Thick Skin in G Money. So this shade right here and this shade right here in the Jacqueline 2 palette. I'm just going to take it right on that smudger brush. And I'm going to blend this out. See how much better that looks when you smoke it out like that? Rather than just leaving the black liner there, it just looks a lot better. I should make him think that I'm just going to leave this powder here. So let me know in the comment section how you think he's going to do tonight. Do you think he's going to be able to recreate this look, or do you think that he's going to flop? Do you think you're going to do good, babe? Because I don't think there's much hope for you.
Do they want to laugh?
Are you going to try, or you
Yes,
just...
I'm going to try. I'm going to give it my all.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you're usually the one that likes to go in for like a good laugh. So, are you about to make me look like Bozo, or...
Distant cousin.
Yeah, you guys are probably in for a show.
No, I will try. Okay.
Okay, and I'm just going to dust this powder off here, guys.
Just a little dust of rose.
Okay, and now we need to bring some color back to the skin, so we're going to contour and bronze. Or for me, just double bronze, because I'm just not a gray undertoned contour fan. It's just not. It's not the vibes. I'm going to go ahead and curl these lashes so they can be drying. Lancome Grandiose Mascara. My favorite. And when I wear lashes, I really only do the roots of my lash. I have really, really long lashes though. So if I was to really like go in with the mascara, I could, and they would be great, but I'm a falsies girl, so I really only do the base of the lashes. I don't go through the entire strand of my lash, just because you need to at least do the base. That way your lashes have something to blend into. And powder just naturally is going to get on your lashes. That's why you never, ever, never do your lashes before you do your powder. Never in a million years do that. You'll be so upset at yourself, because the powder is just going to stick to your mascara. Okay, and then lower lashes, I'm going to use the Essence False Lashes Mascara. This shit is insane, so be very easy with it, because, bitch, your lashes will be down to your nose holes. And that's no exaggeration. This shit is potent. So I'm going to be very easy, very light-handed with it. Because, yeah, you see how much that... Love him to death, but... Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Do you know who Janie Doe is?
Janie Doe?
Yeah.
No. Why?
She said, love him to death, but no, you're not going to do a good job. So I didn't know if maybe you knew her or something.
Janie Doe?
Mm-hmm. At least that's her username on YouTube.
Not that I know of. I don't know Janie Doe.
All right, so now we will contour. Maybe it's just the username.
Yeah, probably.
All right, this is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzing powder in the shade, I think it's light.
That was a weird looking brush.
Yeah, this is the M143, so it like pockets really easy and makes contouring really, really simple. I don't know if they still make this brush. They should. I got a new one of it like maybe a year ago. So they should still have this one. I don't know. You know how Morphe is. Morphe's like basically bankrupt at this point. So I don't know. But no matter what anybody says, they do make some really good brushes. They are like scammy, but anyways, allegedly. Not trying to get sued. Okay. So now I'm going to go in with the Marc Jacobs Coconut Omega Bronzer in the shade Tantalize. I'm going to take this big powder brush and we're just going to warm it up just a little bit more. Really warm up that face. Bring some life back to the party, because, bitch, we are flat as a pancake and we need not to be. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, baby. All right. Then also just go over this part right here, just because, you know, she got a little bit too light, you know, and we don't want it to be that light. All right, now before I do blush, I'm going to take this Dragon Beauty face palette. I'm going to take the pink shade with a beauty sponge. And I'm just going to press right and underneath the eyes, just to bring a little bit of the focus to the face, to the eyes primarily, just to the eyes. Press that right into the skin, baby. And I'm just going to take that powder brush again. Just go back over. And now we are ready for blush. I am going to use Patrick Ta's blush. This is the Monochrome Moment in the shade She's Adorable. It's like a really pretty peachy blush. And also has like a little bit of a sheen to it. Hey, babe. She said, tell him let's break stuff.
You know who that is?
No.
Who sung Break Stuff all the time for you after she come out of her shell?
I don't know. Oh, my God.
I drove her all the way to
Oh, okay. I know who you are now.
I know that's who that is when she said let's break stuff.
I was like, who the hell?
I believe that's who it is. Let's break stuff.
Liz, is that you? It must be. Liz.
I can't think of let's break stuff with anybody else.
Well, she thinks that you're going to do a bad job.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. I just did Halloween makeup.
No, we're not doing Halloween makeup. I'm going to take off half this face and you're going to have to recreate it on the other side.
What the fudge?
You can't redo this?
I'll try. You might look like Two-Face from Batman.
Oh my God. Y'all pray for this look. We'll probably do it about 8 o'clock tonight. You think? 8 o'clock?
Yeah, that should be good by the end of the day.
Ah!
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm out of setting spray. Great. Let's see if this one has any in it. Oh. We had a little bit left in there. Just press it all into the skin. And then we're going to do a little bit of highlight. But first, I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wax. And set these brows. Anywho, yeah, he doesn't really watch me, so it's going to be interesting, y'all. Him doing my makeup tonight, like I said, we'll do it about 8 o'clock. It's going to be interesting because he does not watch a girl do her makeup at all. So, he don't. I mean, he might make it a couple minutes, maybe. Sometimes he'll make it through the eyeshadow. Sometimes. Yeah, she said you're right. It's her. All right, I'm going to take the Jeffree Star Extreme Frost in the shade Stripper Magic. And I'm just going to take this L16 brush by Laura Lee, Los Angeles. And I'm going to put this right on the inner corner just for a little bit of a pop. Especially when the sun hits it. It might be kind of hard to see right here, but when the sun hits it, bitch, you're going to be glowing like a goddamn goddess. I love highlight. Okay, now, which highlight do I want to actually, like, wear today? Let's see. So many options. Ooh, let's go in with MAC, my favorite. My favorite is MAC Soft and Gentle. This is what I wear the most. I'm going to take this Marc Jacobs brush. It's kind of like it's a highlight brush, but it's a little bit more packed. And we're just going to start to highlight this face, baby. I want to glow to the goddamn moon. You heard me? You heard me, honey. Yes, bitch. Shining, 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 shining. Okay. Then I'm going to take Stripper Magic again, which, you know what? I'm going to have to actually go and sharpen my damn lip liner, because the lip liner that I want to use is by Jaclyn Cosmetics, and I can tell you that it needs to be sharpened 100%. Okay, so yeah, the lip liner I'm going to use is this one right here by Jaclyn Cosmetics. It is called Bow. And yeah, she most certainly needs to be. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and trim my lashes. The lashes I use they are dupes for the So Extra Miamis. However, these are like a quarter of the price. You can get these. They're Fard lashes. Yeah. They're 12 to 18 millimeters. They're the Z02s. These are literal exact dupes for the So Extra Miamis. And for $8, you can get this whole pack. Period. Speaks for itself. I'm going to go ahead and trim them to fit my eye. Shape your eye. If this is your first time trimming lashes, just put them up to your eye like so. I'll show you. This one I've already trimmed, but just put them up to your eye and see how much you need to trim off. I've pretty much got it at this point. Just wait till you guys see the lipstick we're going to use today. Holy shit, it's so beautiful. It is my most favorite red of all time. So beautiful. You guys are going to gag. Let me trim this one. I can also show you guys how to make it a liquid lip too, like to where it won't transfer. I can show you what you can do. I'm not going to do that just because I want it to be like glossy and crazy, because I'm going to make a TikTok, obviously. If you're not following me on TikTok, go follow me on TikTok at The Morgan Shea. Especially if you like some JP content. I taught him how to use a tampon this week. And the full video is on my YouTube channel. Holy shit. Or not my YouTube channel, my TikTok. And holy shit, it's so fucking funny. Alright. Let me go trim my lip liner. Use this time to go get you a drink. Take a piss. A shit maybe if you're quick. And I'll be right back. Whatever, freak leak. I'll tell you in a minute, I'm still live. Alright. This is the shade Bow by Jaclyn Cosmetics. It is a cherry red. What about hamburger steaks, Mom? Yeah, he's not very good with the tampon. But you know what? We can get him better. They said you're not very good with the tampon.
I ain't supposed to be.
Yeah, you are. What if I ever need you to put mine in?
I'll put it in there.
Not if you're not good at it.
I know what I'm doing now. I'm professional.
I don't know about that. All right. Lip liner done. This was from Jacqueline's 2021 Christmas collection, I'm pretty sure. I love it. It's my favorite one to wear with a red lip. And then, oh no, where's my, there she is. This is Juvia's Place Afric. Bitch, she's red, like blue undertoned red. My favorite of life. Like red, baby, red. It's nothing like a red lip. If you're just having a bad day, pop on a red lip. Makes you feel confident and pretty, like, I love a red lip. So pretty, bitch. Stop. Okay, and then I'm going to take this MAC E for Effortless. It's like a little bit of a deeper red, but it's got like a gloss vibe. See how it's like a cream? It's like butter, baby. We're going to put that on. We're still not done with the lips, but we're going to let that set a minute. And then I'll show you guys how I really transform this red lip in just 1 second. Hold on. All right, lashes. Lashes, baby. How fucking pretty are those? Like I said, they are an exact dupes for Lily Lash So Extra Miami. And if you have any, if you're familiar at all with Lily Lashes, then you know that they're like $35 a pair. Okay. You can get a 10 pack of these on, is it 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? Yeah. 10 pairs of these lashes on Amazon for $8. Farred lashes on Amazon. Thank me later. They are exact dupes. I've wore So Extra Miami for years. So if anybody knows what a So Extra looks like on the eye, I do, baby. And these are exact dupes. Okay. They're really easy to rewear, easy to clean. I'm going to fix this right here where I got a little bit of lash glue. There we go. Better, better. I'm really liking this look. If he was good with a tampon, I would worry about him, right? Same. Oh, we got dry glue on it. Are you joking? Like lashes just really send me, baby. I love a good lash. Ooh, lipstick on the teeth. Hot. Sexy. Yes, bitch, yes. Okay, so now let's really take it there. I washed my hair last night, so she's super duper clean. Now let's, cute, okay. Let's really amp up this lip. I'm gonna take this right here. This is my trick. If you have never tried these, holy shit. They are the KVD. It used to be owned by Kat Von D, but you know, whatever. She got out of the makeup world, I guess, and now it's like vegan beauty or some shit like that. Either way, they do still have these right here. These are called the XO Vinyl Lip Creams. And this is in the shade Tulip. It's like red. Yes. Absolutely. So pretty. Amps it up to 1,000,000. This is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to tune in tonight at 8 o'clock, and we are going to let my boyfriend JP recreate a look. I was going to take off half of this face and have him recreate this look, but I think I'm just going to let him be creative and come up with something on his own. So if you're interested in that and you want to see him do my makeup, be sure to tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you guys so much, and until the very next time, bye.